Hi folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Applications channel. My name's Rich, and in my last video we talked about moving beyond Microsoft Access, and specifically in that video we talked about using web forms to let users enter data on their mobile devices instead of having to go always through a Microsoft Access front end. We were using a event reporting tool that I created as kind of a demo for these videos, and the data resides on SharePoint. I showed you how to use conditional statements inside JotForms and also how to tie that JotForm directly to your SharePoint list. It's pretty cool. But I forgot entirely about showing you how to allow users to attach photos, which was one of the main advantages of letting them use their device to enter data in the first place. So let me show you how to do that now, but if you haven't seen my previous video, you'll want to watch that first in order for this video to make sense. I open my JotForm in Design View again and scroll down to where I want to place the new element. I click the Add Element button on the left of the screen, and there are a few different ways to handle attachments. We could choose the File Upload element, then restrict what types of files users can upload if we want. But for this example, I'm going to come over to the Widgets tab, and in the search box I'm going to type Photo. Then I'll choose the Take Photo widget and just drag it under the event description. I'll change the text to Attach a Photo. And in the Settings panel, I'll set the camera facing property to rear, since it's unlikely our users will be taking selfies or anything like that when submitting events. Now I can close the Settings panel. Then I'll come up to our form settings. Then in the panel on the left, I want to select Emails. The notification element is shown, and I want to click the pencil icon to edit it. Here you can see the way the email that's sent whenever a submission is made is formatted. But we aren't going to make any changes to that right now. Instead, I'm going to click the Advanced tab and come down to Send File Uploads as Attachments and turn that property on. Okay, now we can publish our web form. To do that, we can click the Publish button at the top of the screen, and all we have to do is share this web address with our users. We can send it directly, we can link to it from other locations, or we could even use a QR code to let users access it that way. Something to be aware of, with the free version of JotForm, there isn't a way to create user logins, so anyone with this address can access the JotForm. But you can limit who can submit data through that form via a workaround that I go over in my video, How to Verify Users on Your JotForm. I'll put a link to it in the description. Okay, I'm going to submit an event on my phone to show you how it looks on a mobile device and to show you how the photo attachments work. As you can see, the form automatically adjusts to display correctly on the phone's screen. One of the cool things about JotForms is its intrinsic responsive design. I'm going to accept the default date time, enter my name, for event location I'll select R&D, and for description I'll say test photo. Now when I come to the photo element, I'll tap the Take Photo button, and I'll just snap a shot of my mantle. And you can see I get the message that my photo was successfully uploaded, and I have the option to retake that photo if I want to. But this looks fine, so I'll tap Next. And for event type, I'll select Quality. And now I can review my submission, and I see my image shows up. I'll tap Submit, and I get the confirmation message. All right, now let's take a look at the email that's sent based on this submission. So now I'm in the Gmail account that I registered on JotForms with, and I see the email message contains all the data points I submitted, including my photo. Awesome. Now we need to make it so that the photo data winds up in our SharePoint list. First, we need to create a new field in our SharePoint list to hold the photo link. So I scroll down to my list, TBL event. I click the vertical dots to the right of the list name, then click on Settings. Once the Settings page opens, I scroll down past the existing field names and click on Create Column. The Create Column page opens, and I'm prompted for a column name. I'll use photo_link. For type, I'll choose hyperlink or picture, and for the rest of the settings, I'll just accept the defaults and click OK. All right, now we need to reconfigure the integration we set up in the last video between JotForm and SharePoint. And if you recall, that integration was handled through a third party called Zapier. So I go to Zapier.com to edit that connection. And once at Zapier, I can click Zaps to see my existing integrations. I'm going to click on the active integration to edit it. And there are my nodes, one for JotForm and one for SharePoint. First, I'll click the pencil icon on my JotForm node to edit it. And when the properties open, I want to click on Configure, and then I want to click on Field Refresh. The idea is that I want to make sure this node has access to my newly created photo upload element. If I come down to the search fields text box and start entering the element's name, it says there are no fields to display. So I'll need to click Continue to view the submissions I've made through the JotForm to find the photo upload element. I click my most recent submission, and the elements, along with their answers, appear on the left, including my Take a Photo element. And by the way, if your most recent submission doesn't appear in this list, click the Find New Records button and the list will refresh. So now I'll click Continue with selected record, and my SharePoint node is automatically selected next. And once again, I click the Configure tab. Then I can scroll down and find the new field I created to store the photo link in. And there it is. I click the plus sign, and now I can scroll down and choose the JotForm element to map to this field. And here it is. So I select it, then click Continue. And now we're all set to republish. Again, I'm prompted for a version. I'll just enter 3. And I get the confirmation message that my Zap is now published and using version 3. So now I want to reload the web form on my phone to give it a try. Once again, I accept the date time defaults, provide my name, for event location, I'll select offices. For description, I'll enter test photo link. And this time I'll snap a shot of my bicycle. Once again, I receive the message letting me know my upload was successful. And for event type, I'll just select recognition. I tap review and submit, and there's all my data, including my photo, so I'll go ahead and tap submit. And by the way, if for some reason your camera fails to be triggered by the element, like if the browser can't get permission to use it, the widget will then allow you to choose a photo that's already stored on your phone to upload, which I think is pretty smart, and in some ways it's even better, and I'll show you what I mean in just a bit. But first, let's head back over to our SharePoint site to see if our photo link was stored successfully. I'll scroll down and click on TBL event, and then scroll down to our last submission, and there's my photo link. And when I click it, I can see my photo. But notice it's pretty small. If I go back to my list and click the submission where I uploaded a photo that was already stored on my phone, we see the picture has a lot more resolution, which can be useful, but does count against your bandwidth and storage. So it's a trade-off, but it is something to consider and definitely worth being aware of. So that's one way to attach photos using JotForms to make a submission. And it's a pretty easy one and it can be really useful. I definitely encourage you to check out JotForms and see what all they have to offer. And if you'd like to see any more tutorials on JotForms, just let me know and I will do my best to make those. In my next video, we're going to talk about integrating Power Apps and how it can be even a better fit if you have relational data. So thanks for watching. I hope this was useful, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Take care.